Tom.
It's a pleasure to meet you there, Tom. I appreciate you taking your time and coming out and visiting with us today. Do you have an appointment or is it your first visit with us?
First visit, I just wanted to come in and see the product.
Fantastic. Well, I want to tell you just a little bit about our dealership. You know, we've been locally owned and operated for right about 70 years. At our particular dealership, we specialize in foreign and domestic vehicles in both new and used. So feel at ease. I'll answer any questions you may have today. By the way, Tom, have you been doing a little bit of shopping or are you just now starting with us?
Yeah, I've looked around at some product.
Okay, what have you been looking at?
I've looked at Subaru and a Volvo, and I've looked at a few other brands, BMW and Lexus.
Sure. Yeah, those are certainly a lot of nice cars out on the market today. Let me ask you this, Tom. What are the most important qualities you're looking for in your next vehicle?
Well, safety and features and durability of the product.
Sure. Same thing I'd be looking for in a vehicle.
Right.
You know what, Tom? I think I got the vehicle that'll work perfect for you. Do you have just a few moments to give me an opportunity to show you the Altima and why I think it'll work best for you? Come on around here to the front, and I want to introduce you to the all-new 2010 Nissan Altima. It certainly has Nissan signature styling. It's set on a nice wide track. It has bold fender flares front and rear. You'll notice pretty unique front and rear tail lamps, as well as big dual-tip chrome exhaust there at the back. Now, 2010 is freshly redesigned for us this year. You'll notice we have a completely new front end, a new front fascia, new grille, newly designed headlamps, as well as a new hood with what we call a power bulge. Definitely gives a lot of styling and certainly a good looking car going down the road. Now underneath that power bulge, we've got a couple of different options here for you. Two available engines with the Nissan Altima. This one's equipped with the 2.5 4-cylinder, 175 horsepower. Will get you right into the mid-30s for highway fuel mileage. You also have the option for a 3.5 liter V6. That's an engine that produces 270 horsepower. Will absolutely fly down the road in this car.
What kind of miles is that?
You're going to top out right about 30 highway mileage with the V6. You'll see mid-20s in town. The neatest thing about this vehicle is the amount of range you'll actually get out of a tank of gas. Both of our engines are very fuel efficient, but our 4-cylinder, you'll actually know with a full tank of gas, you'll get about 620 miles. Range on one tank, and that's on the highway, of course, and then in town you'll see into the mid-400s.
Right. What's the capacity?
I believe it's going to be 18.5 gallons on this particular vehicle.
That's good.
So they definitely did a good job. Now, you mentioned that safety was a big concern, and I will point out a few safety features, but after talking about these engines, I want to get into the transmission. Whether you go with the 4-cylinder or the 6, both of them are going to be paired up with Nissan's Xtronic CVT transmission. That is actually a shiftless transmission, and what it'll do for you as a customer is it's going to provide you with seamless power and virtually eliminate any shift shock. You'll notice that it's going to get it's going to make the vehicle perform better than a standard transmission, and it's also going to get you a little bit better mileage. A little nugget about that transmission is that is actually warranted for 10 years, 120,000 miles with Nissan, so we're certainly very proud of it. You did mention safety was a concern, and that's why the Nissan Altima is a 5-star safety rated vehicle. Underneath the hood, I will point out just a few things. You'll notice this vehicle has crumple zones built in here to the front, also in the rear of the vehicle as well. They're built into the hood as well as the front frame rail tips, so in the event of any accident, it's designed to absorb inertia without affecting the inside of the passenger cabin. A lot more safety features on the inside, and we'll go into that in just a second. Last thing I want to talk about underneath the hood is we do a lot of noise and vibration dampening. You'll notice we pad underneath the hood, we pad the firewall, and we'll use a lot of seals where a lot of manufacturers don't, and that just goes to get you a smooth, quiet, comfortable car as you're going down the road. As we come around here to the side, I want to point out that this vehicle is actually equipped with our 16-inch aluminum wheel. Behind that wheel, you have 4-wheel disc brakes, you have 4-wheel ABS all the way around on this car. Two very neat things about Nissan's braking system I'd like to point out. One is called electronic brake assist, and what that's actually going to do for you as a customer is if you slam your foot on the brake and this vehicle senses an emergency stop, it's actually going to apply full brake pressure to all 4 of your anti-lock disc brakes. It's actually going to reduce the emergency stop by about 20 feet on this vehicle, so very neat system with that. In addition to electronic brake assist, you also have electronic brake force distribution, and what that's actually going to do is it'll vary how much force goes to each wheel, not only to allow you to stop within a shorter distance, but that's also going to get you a lot greater life and longevity out of your brake components. You won't have to replace your brake pads or turn your rotors near as often on this vehicle as you do in most other cars. In addition to that, behind your brake system, you'll find this vehicle has 4-wheel independent suspension. So you know this vehicle actually won't pitch or lean as you go in and out through the curves of North Carolina like some other vehicles do. Very great ride quality, very smooth, quiet, and comfortable. I wanted to talk to you a little bit here on the inside, and before I get there, I do want to point out one of the neatest things about our Nissan Altima is the Nissan's intelligent key. This is a really, really neat feature. What it actually does for you is if you have this key in your pocket and you walk up to the vehicle, you can push the button, actually gain access to the car. You simply have a seat, put your foot on the brake, and hit the start button to start it up. You don't ever have to pull the key from your pocket, or if your wife has it in her purse, there's no need to dig around for it. Really, really neat deal with that. Allows you to gain quick entry and start your vehicle. The nicest thing I like about it is you won't ever lock your key in your car. I don't know if you've ever done that, but I certainly have.
So if you leave that key laying inside and you leave, it won't lock.
Absolutely. You can. It's designed to where as you get out of the vehicle, you can actually push this button and lock the vehicle and walk away from it. If the key's inside the car, you go to push that button, it will not lock the car. So you won't ever have to worry about locking your keys inside of it. I do want to continue, since you mentioned safety was important to you. On the inside, tons and tons of standard safety features. This vehicle does have driver and passenger airbag, and they're actually set up on occupant classification systems. So depending on how heavy you are as a passenger and how close you are to the airbag, as well as how severe an accident is, this vehicle is designed to minimize any impact the airbag has on you.
So it just doesn't blow up like the standard.
Absolutely. If you're a little shorter and sitting closer to the steering wheel, it's not going to blow it out nearly as big or as fast for someone heavier and sitting farther back. In addition to that, all of our Nissans will have seat-mounted airbags. These will actually deploy out of the seat. Now you'll notice most other manufacturers are going to put side airbags in the door, and I don't particularly like that because if you're sitting closer forward or you're sitting farther back, they're liable to go off in the wrong position. These are mounted into the seat, so regardless of sitting forward, back, up, or down, they're sure to go off in the right spot.
Like a side curtain?
No, well, we also have a side curtain. We have side curtain airbags for all outboard passengers, but what I was talking about was a seat-mounted airbag that just deploys out of the side of the seat, and that's mainly for side thorax protection in the event of a side impact. I talked to you a little bit about crumple zones. This vehicle does have heavy-duty side impact beams all throughout, but tons and tons of safety features. Truly a vehicle you shouldn't have any concerns with there. As we open up the back door, I do want to point out that this vehicle is unmatched for shoulder, hip, leg room here in the back seat, so regardless of who you're ever riding with, they're sure to be comfortable here in the back seat. Do you ever do any traveling, Tom?
Yeah, some.
Okay, where do you normally go?
I usually go to the beach or down to Florida.
Okay, well you'd certainly appreciate that 620 miles to a tank.
Oh yeah.
One thing I do want to point out is the amount of trunk space that's in this vehicle. And every time I pop the trunk on this car, people are always incredibly impressed. That's a very, very large trunk, and I do want to point out that both of these seats will actually fold flat. You've got these little tethers here, and you simply pull them down. That allows you to actually fold one of these seats flat. It gives you an opportunity to utilize the length of the vehicle for any long objects you're carrying. You'll notice they do fold at a split, so you're able to still keep two folks in the rear while still utilizing the length of the vehicle. You're also able to fold them all down. You can certainly keep them all up, so there's a lot of advantages to that. I mentioned that before when we were up front that this vehicle's got the good-looking chrome exhaust here in the back, and I think that certainly sets it off pretty well. Certainly an unmistakable car as you go down the road. As we come around here to the side, you mentioned you've been looking at some other vehicles, and I want to point out that although the Subaru and the Volvo are incredibly nice, there's specific advantages to the Altima. The first and foremost thing is going to be initial investment. This car is actually going to cost you less to buy. The second thing is going to be cost of ownership. This vehicle is actually going to cost you less to own after you buy it. So some pretty neat deals there. If you're looking for longevity, this is definitely a great car to look at. Our 3.5 liter V6 has been boasted by Ward's Automotive Group to be the top 10 best engines in the world. They've been on that list for 15 years running. I will mention there's no other manufacturer that has an engine with that kind of track record. And all in all, just an incredible vehicle. I'm going to have you. The warranty on this vehicle is going to be 3-year, 36,000 miles on bumper to bumper. It's going to be a 5-year, 60,000 miles that'll normally cover your engine and your transmission. But I did tell you Nissan did supersede that warranty on the transmission by offering a 10-year, 120,000 miles. Okay. That's another thing also no other manufacturer will offer. As we open up the passenger door, I want to let you know that this vehicle comes with tons and tons of standard features. However, this one does have some nicer options. You got leather and heated seats available. You got a 6-disc Bose stereo available. You've got dual zone temperature control where you can actually set the passenger side warmer or cooler than the driver's side. This one in particular does have the sunroof. You can also get a voice activated navigation system. So as you can see, we'll be sure to find an Altima that's equipped exactly how you would like. And On top of that, I want to get you to experience everything that we've talked about today. So if you want to go ahead and have a seat, we'll be able to take it on a test